Hi everyone! In this video, I will show you how to secure your JWTs or JSON Web Tokens when implementing the authentication and refresh token actions in our .NET Core applications. When we follow the usual flow with the JWTs, we can see that once the client sends the authentication request, they get the access token, which is then usually stored inside the local or session storage. Both storages are considered not that secure. And of course, we can increase the security of our tokens by encrypting them before storing them inside the storage, and then decrypting them before sending them with a request. In that case, if an attacker somehow gets access to the storage, the tokens will be of no use to them. But there is another option, which is considered a bit better and more secure. Of course, I'm talking about the HTTP-only cookies. An HTTP-only cookie is a tag added to a browser cookie that prevents client-side scripts from accessing data. It provides a gate that prevents the specialized cookie from being accessed by anything other than the server. Using the HTTP-only tag when generating a cookie helps mitigate the risk of client-side scripts accessing the protected cookie, thus making these cookies more secure. So, with all this in mind, let's see how we can implement the HTTP-only cookie authentication and refresh token action in the .NET application. Now, I already have a project with both the authentication and refresh actions implemented. Here, I am using the regular way where the tokens are sent to the client using the response body. This is the code I used in my refresh token video, so I won't dive into the authentication or refresh token logic here. If you want to learn more about both, I will link both the authentication and refresh token videos in the description below. So, in this video, you'll see how you can modify the current implementation to add the HTTP-only cookie part and secure the tokens in your apps. Okay, the first thing first. Let's start by modifying our JWT configuration inside the Service Extensions class. So, to avoid any confusion, I am using the JWT authentication, and I will continue to use the JWT authentication even after I implement the HTTP-only cookie logic. The cookie will be used as a transporting mechanism and nothing more, so we are not using the cookie authentication here, and we don't have to register the cookie middleware. But the thing I have to do is extend the JWTBearer configuration with the Events property and instantiate it with the new JwtBearerEvents class. Then inside, I will call the onMessageReceived property that acts as an event here once the authentication protocol message is received. And this is a func delegate that accepts the context as a parameter. Now, with the help of the context parameter, I can call the request.cookies and try to extract the value of the access token cookie and place it inside the access token local variable. Of course, only if I find the access token, I can use the token property and set it to the value of my access token. Finally, I will return the task completed task. Now, to explain this a bit, if you check the test controller here, it has a single dummy get action and it is decorated with the authorized attribute. So, as soon as the request reaches the authorized attribute, my onMessageReceived event will be triggered. Then I simply want to extract the token's value from the cookie and set it as the token value for the validation process. Also, to make it clear, I will store both the access and the refresh tokens inside the HTTP-only cookie. But for the authorization part, I only need the access token. Great, that's all regarding the configuration. And I can move on to modify the logic inside the authentication controller first. Here, you can see different actions, but the authenticate action is the one that concerns us. You can see I'm calling the authentication service to do the heavy lifting regarding the authentication logic and the token creation logic. And I return both the access and the refresh tokens to the controller. And then I simply return the token DTO containing both tokens to the client. Well, now I don't want to do that. What I want to do is set both tokens inside the HttpOnly cookie and send it to the client. Now, just quickly, I would like to let you know about our Ultimate ASP.NET Core Web API book, which you can find linked in the description below. Feel free to check out the book if you want to master all the best practices to create powerful and production-ready web APIs. And also, check our Blazor course to create the client C# apps without using JavaScript. Again, the links are in the description below. So, let's return to the authentication service class and create a new method that will store the tokens inside the cookie. I will create it here so I can reuse it for both the authentication and the refresh logic. That said, let's add a new public void method named setTokensInsideCookie, and it will accept the token DTO parameter and the HTTP context parameter that I need to access the cookie. Now, inside the method, let's use the context and call the response.cookies property, and then call the append method to add a new cookie. I have to provide the key first, and this key must be the same as the one I used inside the configuration event. And then I need the value, which is my generated access token. Finally, I need to set up some cookie options using the cookie options class. This cookie entry will expire in 5 minutes. And this is the exact value for the access token expiration period. Also, I want this one to be an HTTP-only cookie, and I will state it is essential for the app to work properly. Additionally, I want to enable a cookie transfer via SSL or HTTPS only. And finally, let's use the same site property and populate it to samesiteMode.none. Now, I can copy this configuration and paste it below, and simply modify the key to refresh token, the value to refresh token again, and the expiry period to 7 days. That's it. Of course, I have to modify the authentication service interface and add the same member here. Now I can go back to my authentication controller. Here, I will first remove the payload from the OK method. I don't want to return any token inside the response body. Then, let's use the service variable and call the authentication service and then the setTokens method and pass the required arguments. And we are done. At this point, I will return a 200 status code to the client, but the cookie with my tokens will be sent separately. Well, let's test it. Let's run the app and use the Postman to help us with testing. I will first send a request to the test controller, and as you can see, I get 401 unauthorized, which is expected since the action is protected. Next, let's send the request to the authentication action. And I get 200 OK result. But if I check the cookies link, you can see I have both tokens here. Well, let's inspect the access token first. And you can see the properties set inside the cookie options: secure, HTTP only, and expires for this one. Also, let's check the refresh token, and you see the same here. Excellent. Now, with the cookie stored inside the Postman, I can send the previous request again, and I get a 200 OK result. This means the authentication works. Great. Now I can move to the refresh logic. Well, to be honest, I need to make only a slight change here. I don't want to modify anything inside the service layer, so just this part inside the action. As you can see, right now I'm accepting both the access token and the refresh token inside the request body. But now I don't want to do that. So let's remove that from the action. What I want to do is to extract both entries from the cookie manually. To do so, I will use the HTTP context property and then call the request.cookies property and call the try_get_value method to try to extract the access token inside the local variable named access token. Then I can copy this and paste it, and simply change the key to refresh token and the local variable name to refresh token again. Now that I have both values, I can create a new token DTO variable here and populate it with both the access and the refresh tokens. Then I will again use the authentication service and call the setTokens method with both required arguments to add new tokens into a cookie, tokens that are created inside the refresh token method. Finally, I don't want to return anything inside the response body. And that's all. I can again start the app and repeat the flow. But first, let's remove the cookies from the Postman. Now, let's send the test request, and I get 401. Then, let's authenticate the user, and here I can find my cookies. Of course, this will allow me to access the test action. Finally, let's look at the refresh tokens content only, since it is a shorter one. We can see the last part. And now, let's send this refresh token request. Again, I get 200 OK, and if I inspect the token, I definitely have a different refresh token. Feel free to check the access token as well, they are different for sure. Of course, I'm still able to access the test action method. Great! Finally, the refresh token is updated for the user inside the database, and we can verify it here. Well, as you can see, it was not that hard, but again, we were able to implement a pretty important feature regarding the security of our tokens. With that done, I can finish the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Until then, all the best.